Nissan made a nifty solar panel system for its Sakura EV. Apple lost its UK antitrust lawsuit over App Store fees. And Strava pulled the plug on its Garmin lawsuit. It's Friday, October 24th, and here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. Putting a solar panel on a car's roof is a nifty idea, but can only gain you a few free miles a day due to the limited size. With a new prototype of its hyper-popular Sakura EV, Nissan has the answer: a bigger solar panel roof called the AO Solar Extender. When fully stretched out on a sunny day, it can add about 1,864 miles of driving distance a year and power multiple accessories. The panel works whether you're driving or parked. When extended, it generates 500 watts on sunny days. At the same time, it helps block sunlight from the windshield, which, as Nissan noted, can reduce cabin temperature and lower the need for air conditioning power consumption. When retracted in driving mode, it still pumps out 300 watts in the sun, 80 watts in the rain, quite a bit more than the 185 watts max generated by the Prius Prime's solar roof. And if you're worried about aerodynamics, Nissan said the roof is designed to minimize drag and integrate well with the Sakura's design. It's not just a fun exercise, as Nissan said it's planning to launch the AO Solar Extender commercially, with details to follow at a later date. It could be a useful accessory on the Sakura, which has been Japan's most popular EV since 2022 thanks to its sufficient range, cute K looks, and spacious interior. The automaker will show it off at the Japan Mobility Show later this month. Apple will owe money to UK users after losing an App Store antitrust lawsuit there on Thursday. That's according to the Financial Times. The Competition Appeal Tribunal ruled that the iPhone maker abused its dominant market position to inflate developer fees. The tribunal found that the company has near absolute market power for iOS app distribution and in-app payments. The decision declared that Apple has been abusing its dominant position by charging excessive and unfair prices. The Financial Times reported that Apple will appeal the decision. The class action claimants said damages of about £1.5 billion would be split between 36 million consumers. A subsequent hearing to determine the process for resolving any questions relating to the calculation of damages could come as soon as next month. Apple has an increasingly strained relationship with the tighter regulations across the Atlantic. Earlier this week, the company stepped up its attacks on the EU's Digital Markets Act, a law designed to protect consumers from big tech dominance. And on Wednesday, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority confirmed that Apple has strategic market status in the country's equivalent of the DMA. That gives the CMA authority to ensure that mobile platforms are open to effective competition. Apple provided the following statement in response to the ruling, saying, quote, "We thank the tribunal for its consideration, but strongly disagree with this ruling, which takes a flawed view of the thriving and competitive app economy. The App Store has benefited businesses and consumers across the UK, creating a dynamic marketplace where developers compete and users can choose from millions of innovative apps. This ruling overlooks how the App Store helps developers succeed and give consumers a safe, trusted place to discover apps and securely make payments. The App Store faces vigorous competition from many other platforms, often with far fewer privacy and security protections, giving developers and consumers many options in how they build, share, and download apps. We intend to appeal." End quote. Strava's big attack on Garmin didn't last very long. On Tuesday, the former filed paperwork to dismiss its patent infringement lawsuit against the latter. That's according to DC Rainmaker. Now, the battle, which included a setting the record straight Reddit post from Strava's chief product officer, lasted all of 21 days. The lawsuit accused Garmin of infringing on patents related to heat maps and segments. Strava asked the court to halt all sales of infringing Garmin products, which, according to its characterization, would have been, well, most of them. Strava Chief Product Officer Matt Salazar escalated the fight with an October 2nd Reddit post. He said his company's legal maneuver was in response to Garmin API guidelines that required the Garmin logo to be present on every single activity post, screen, graph, image, sharing card, etc. Salazar wrote that Garmin wants to use Strava and every other partner as an advertising platform. They told us they care more about their marketing than your user experience. Well, those are fighting words, and Strava appeared to be digging in for a righteous and bitter battle against its partner. But now it's essentially, never mind. Why the quick reversal? Well, Engadget's Will Shanklin did reach out to Strava for comment, but no response as of yet. Closed-door discussions between the companies, possibly including threats from Garmin to countersue, seem likely. Garmin has a stacked patent library and a strong record defending them in court. Besides, DC Rainmaker says Strava's case, especially the parts related to heat map patents, didn't appear to hold much water in the first place. Strava's initial move was all the more bizarre considering how much its business model depends on activity data from Garmin devices. The two companies have a long-standing relationship, which you can imagine isn't so healthy at the moment. Losing access to Garmin's legion of devices could have been catastrophic to the San Francisco-based Strava, which plans to file an IPO next year. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Steve Dent and Will Shanklin and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer by me, Steve White. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back on Monday with more tech news from Engadget.